guys.
Hey,
Hey.
How's it going?
hey. Pretty good.
That's good. That's good. How have you all been?
Pretty solid.
I've been pretty shit, if I'm being honest.
Really?
That's cool.
This
So
cup
anyway, this week's topic.
This cup is supposed to be filled with milk. I have no milk
Why-
in my house.
What happened to the milk?
I must have drank it all because it's all gone. And I worked hard stealing these from the Girl Scouts, and I have no fucking milk to drink them with. So I have to drink them with water. I have to eat them with water. The hell is even that?
You can dip them in water. It's still the same.
No,
Are you dipping the cookies in water?
no.
You can. The water's still gonna be
That's
thing's gonna
disgusting.
still
You're
be
gonna have
soggy.
Wait, hold on.
You're telling me that when you dip, you're telling
not
me that
on
when you
record.
dip a cookie in water, you can taste the milk? No, it's just a
Yeah?
soggy cookie.
Yes.
Yeah?
No,
You taste the milk.
no.
Tom, are you not a milk drinker?
No, I am. I'm
Wait.
fucking with you. I've never dipped a cookie in water.
Okay,
Oh.
good.
Dude, I was like, are you really on record right now saying that you dip your cookies in water and think that's okay? Like
I'm not like a milk
chocolate
drinker though. Like I'm not like Cole who like
No,
he
I
drinks
love
milk
milk.
plain.
I don't
I don't
understand
really
people
like
who
that.
don't like
I
milk.
will
Like, there's
get
some
up in the
people who
morning and
refuse.
just
Like
drink
like
a
I've
full
seen
cup.
people who
Just-
people get upset at me for drinking a glass of
Yeah.
milk straight.
It's
They're
like,
like,
you
"What's
know,
wrong
it's
with you?"
like it's like that meme where it's like the milk hater versus the average milk enjoyer. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
with the
hate on it.
cat.
I just don't like it
No,
on its own.
yeah.
Like I like
No,
it in
that's
coffee
Sure.
with
You don't like
cookies.
it's on its own?
I could
I
drink.
mean, when I'm
could
having
drink
cookies,
just
I
a
can
cup of
drink
milk.
it. I'll drink it. But
I just
not
drink a
as
cup of
a
milk
Yeah.
nice
by
beverage,
itself.
Yeah,
you
me
know?
and Joe get it. Me and Joe get
Cold or warm. Sometimes I heat it up.
it. Yeah,
warm
me,
milk?
Me and Joe get it. I don't
Do you
really
ever
drink.
heat up
I
your
don't
milk?
really drink warm milk. No, I
Rip.
never did, even when I was a kid though. So like, I don't really know what it's like.
Yeah.
I've smelled warm milk before, like when I made like hot cocoa, and I don't like the smell.
I
I-
imagine though that because always as a kid in movies and stuff, it was supposed to like help kids go to sleep. I can
Yeah.
imagine a warm glass of milk
It,
helping
it
you.
probably just warms up your body and like your
Yeah.
Yeah,
stomach.
when I was younger, that was always the thing. My mom used to heat up milk on the stove with some cinnamon. And it was pretty bomb.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by the Girl Scouts
No, that's not true.
Just come in.
and the Thin Mints. No, my brother found these somewhere.
Probably the superstore.
So thank you to the Girl Scouts for sponsoring this video. My favorite
That sounds
cookie.
great.
Wait, hold on. What are your guys' favorite Girl Scout cookies? I feel like we've had this conversation before, but I don't really remember. And if you say anything other than, oh wait, Joe's gonna say something other than Thin Mints because
No, I like Thin Mints.
I can't eat anything that has to do with mint. It's for toothpaste and gum only.
Yeah, but Thin Mints, I like that too. I think that too because I hate chocolate and mint together. But Thin Mints is like something. It's different.
can't
Like
have a
I don't
Shamrock
like
shake.
I don't eat like the York candies, but I'll eat Thin Mints. Shamrock shakes
I think-
are bomb as
Yeah,
fuck.
Thin
And
Mints
you wanna
and
know what's
Shamrock
bomb as
Shakes are
fuck?
like a different flavor.
Mint
I don't
chocolate
like
chip
Shamrock
ice cream
Shakes.
is so
I don't-
bomb. I love
I don't like
mint
Shamrock.
chocolate chip ice cream.
I don't like mint chocolate chip either. I don't like Shamrock Shakes. I tried them one time because Cole made me. Don't like them.
Yeah,
I actually
see,
have
I
a
don't-
story that could probably be the reason why I'm so opposed to mint flavored edible things.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Italy, right? And like, they're a
Full
little,
of
they're a little
bugs?
weird. They're a little weird there. But I was at like my great aunt's house, and she's like said something in Italian. So obviously I just nodded and smiled. So
Mamma mia.
so she ends up pouring me this glass, and like regular glass here. I'll just pretend this isn't Starbucks. It's like she poured like this much of this green substance, and then the rest was just tap water. The green substance was like concentrated mint,
Huh.
and she's like, my dad translated it and said that apparently her grandchildren love this drink, and like my cousins, whatever, love this drink.
Huh.
It was just like drinking mouthwash.
Maybe put that in like milk, but I don't know about water.
It was just like drinking mouthwash. You
That's
put that in
weird.
milk, and I will burn you in hell. It was like drinking mouthwash. Like my sister and I looked at each other, because we had to like finish this thing, so we didn't want to be rude,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of like, because we're like sitting on the balcony, we're kind of just like, tipping it over the side.
I'm sorry,
But,
like
yeah.
I get it, but that is the hardest fucking like social like societal norm to have to follow. Like it's rude if you don't eat the food, and like I understand it, you know, it makes sense. Like they spend time, but like fuck, sometimes there's things that I just don't want to fucking eat.
Yeah.
Like I've
Like
had dinner at
vegetables.
like people's houses and stuff, not just vegetables, not just vegetables. But like I've had to like choke shit down because I've
Oh yeah, like at my grandma's house. Is that what you're saying?
no,
You
I love
choked
Sharon's
down at your
cooking. No,
grandma's
Sharon's
house.
cooking is amazing.
Oh,
Thank you.
I don't
cool.
think she's cooked a meal that I hasn't liked, and she's cooked things before where I've been like, I don't know if I'll like that, and I've loved it.
Oh.
So
Yeah. No, I mean like, I won't have that problem because I'm just an amazing cook. Everyone eats all the stuff I
Of
make.
course.
They always ask for seconds. I'm like, they can't have any. Fuck off. Get
all
out of my
right.
house.
So do we want to get into the topic of
Right.
today?
So yeah, this episode is it's an episode of mystery. It's I got something for you guys to solve here. All right. And
It's like we get to solve it.
It's an active mystery.
I mean, you can make your assumptions
Okay.
because like it's a cold case. There's a
Really?
couple cold cases here.
Really? Okay.
One's not a cold case. First one is. I'll start with the cold case. All right. So, um, as you may know, I just came back. I moved back recently, so I've probably been here for like over a month now. I don't know how long I've been here for. Um, back with my parents, and uh, anyway, that's like a unrelated, kind of related, but anyway. So one day I was searching through the fridge and freezer, just like find stuff to cook, cause I love cooking. And I was looking for ingredients, searching it all up and down, cleaning it out. Found this one like Ziploc baggie, like a sandwich baggie, of like some sort of meat.
Okay.
In the top upstairs freezer. Like we have like a freezer in the basement,
Yeah.
like one of those big ones. So you open up the giant door.
Yeah. My family has like 6 freezers. It's crazy, yeah. So I know what you mean. Like just
Okay, we don't have that many. We don't have too many bodies to store.
well, no, look.
Anyway, that's a mystery for another time, Cole. But
What's in Cole's freezer? Who's
yeah,
in
so
Cole's freezer?
we usually keep the meat and the stuff in the basement freezer because it doesn't get open as much. It's not like meat's less prone to freezer burn. There's this meat in the upstairs freezer, which is like a little weird. No one stores meat in the upstairs freezer. I asked my dad, I'm like, what kind of meat is this? So it looks like it could be ground beef, but when it's frozen, it could be like roast or ground beef or like chicken wings for all I know. I don't know. I asked him, and he's like, "That's not meat," but it was meat. And I'm like, "Yeah, it is. It's definitely meat." And I looked at it. I kind of opened the bag, and like, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's ground beef." He's like, "Oh, what's that doing up there?" Because like, no one puts meat in the upstairs freezer. No one puts meat in the upstairs freezer. It's not like
this is a sin.
It's the golden rule after all.
That's just not where meat goes. It's like putting pepper in the bathroom. Like it doesn't happen in this house.
Sure.
Anyway, he's like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll use that up in sauce tomorrow." Because my dad's Italian. He makes sauce a lot. So he wanted to make a meat sauce. Anyway,
this is like
next
the 4th time Joe's referenced like his Italian descent.
It's important. It's important. This episode is brought to you by Italy.
Thank you, Italy, for sponsoring this podcast.
So anyway, the next day I go to work and like come home, and it's like almost dinner-ish. Second I open the door, I'm like blasted. Like think that what's going through my mind right now is like I open the door and Requiem orchestra song from Hannibal, like the duh, like that. I don't know how it goes. I'm tone deaf, but that song is, and then everything's in slow motion, and my face gets like acid burned.
Oh no!
Like, and I'm just like, it fumes so strong. And then my dad's like, second to open the door, he's like, "Hey, smell this," and then like runs over. like wobbles over with like a pot full of like gray, miscolored ground beef that's supposedly cooked. And I just like my eyes were burning, like I could feel like my skin melting. Like by the time he brought the pot over for me to sniff, I was like, that is just vinegar. That is just straight sour beef.
Oh,
And
I
he's
can't even
like,
imagine.
I just cooked it. He all he did was like put it in the pot and turned it on.
Yeah.
It was in the upstairs freezer. So
Is that why you
like
called it a cold case?
it's a cold. Yeah. So anyway, like obviously threw it in garbage. The whole house reeked of like rancidness that I had to I I like I went upstairs, locked myself in the shitty smelling bathroom because I just took a massive deuce, and then
But it was better than that.
it was better than the beef smell. Then I came
Yes.
downstairs, lit a couple incense, and yeah, it was fine. But
So, like, what was wrong with it?
anyway, now that's the story. The mystery part is, well, obviously it was just old. But first of all, how long does it take meat to go bad in
In
the
a
freezer?
freezer.
Second of all, who put meat in the upstairs freezer and when?
Because
Because
meat doesn't go in the upstairs freezer.
meat doesn't go in the upstairs freezer. That ground beef must have been there for so long. Again,
How
um,
often does your freezer like kind of be like almost empty? You know, like is there ever points where like your freezer's like kind of running low, you can kind of like see everything in the bottom, or is it very
see
possible that
that's
this could have been hiding there for years?
my dad's a proud member of Costco, so every month it's packed full of like
I see. Okay.
frozen stuff. But that's why I brought up that I just moved back here because I was gone for 4 months at the college, and and last time that freezer's been gone through is I'm pretty sure the last time I did it, like before I moved.
Yeah, but
So
for then someone must have put it there because I mean I've got venison downstairs in our freezer from like 2019 and it's still good.
so the leading theory is I might have done something with ground beef because when my dad cooks with ground beef, he does like he portions it out, freezes it, and then thaws a portion and
Uh
then
huh.
cooks it all up. When I cook with ground beef, I take one of my dad's portions and I like only take a little bit for myself,
Going on a field
and
trip
then
with
so
Tom.
so so I only take a little bit for myself, and then I put the other little bit back in the freezer for someone else to
Uh
use.
huh.
What might have happened is like over a year ago, I took a little bit out and put the little bit left back into a Ziploc bag, but since it got thawed and frozen again, but again, I wouldn't have put meat in the upstairs freezer. No one puts meat in the
Yeah.
upstairs freezer.
That's really weird. What I'm wondering, okay, so like how big was like the bag? Like
Like it's a sandwich bag, so like this big. And it was
I'm
like
wondering
probably
hmm,
less than a pound of meat,
how
I'd
deep
say.
did you have to dig to find this package of meat? Like how deep in the freezer was it
It was
when you
like
found it?
so we have it organized frozen veggies
Mm-hmm.
and ice packs. It was like stuffed in between them, like in the crack. Like it could have very well been there for like multiple years.
Is it possible that like someone just threw it there like years ago and it literally just like fell like under the freezer kind of like
But if it fell into the freezer, it would have been noticed earlier
you think
because
so?
the door wouldn't have been able to close.
True.
Mhm.
So yeah, that meat's just been like I think
Huh.
thawed and refrozen and sat in that freezer with freezer burn. Because even when it cooked, it didn't look right. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like a brown.
Uh-huh.
It was like a soupy gray.
Was the bag open
I
when
don't
you
think so.
no? Hmm.
My dad cooked it. I have no idea.
Huh.
But if it was open, I think he would just throw it out.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
hope.
really strange.
Yeah, wait.
But
So
yeah.
why would what you did to the ground beef make it
Well,
go
when you thaw
bad?
meat after, so you buy it from the store thawed, then you
Mhm.
portion it out and freeze it. The next time you thaw it, you can't refreeze it
I see.
because you already like freezing breaks up the cells or whatever, and if it refreezes, then it rots and it freezer burns and stuff like that. Like it's not good for the meat. So, but I wouldn't have thawed meat unless like it was being used. So I have a feeling I thought the meat put in the fridge, and then like someone was like, because I assumed someone was gonna use it in the next couple days, and someone didn't use it. So then they're like, I'll just put this in the freezer. And
Huh.
like years later,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
it
That
was
that kind of reminds me of a little story, but I'll tell it after you finish, Joe.
like I can't really explain the smell and the rancidness. You just had to like literally like it was stuck in my nose. I took Vicks, like Vicks,
Yeah,
like
but
I just like shot it all up my nose. Get that gelatin,
yeah,
that
Mhm.
yeah, right up
that's
my
that's what
nose.
reminds me. This was probably, I don't know, probably like 10, 11 years ago. I was like a little shitter. I was like probably 9 or 10. No, maybe it was later. I think it was like middle school era actually. So I was probably like maybe 13, 14. And my dad, when he goes away to our hunting camp, he brings like a bunch of food. Like he brings like chili, he brings like jambalaya, he brings a ton of food, like homemade, like home cooked dishes, and he'll bring them there and they'll eat them throughout the week. So my dad comes home from camp after like a week of being at camp, and it's the middle of winter, and he's like, "Hey Cole, I put the jambalaya pot out in the garage. Like when you go home from school tomorrow, can you dump it out and clean it out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like a month went by,
Oh,
and it was sitting there. It had shrimp, it had chicken, it had sausage in the rice,
oh my god.
and my dad was like, "Cole." He was like, "This it's happening today. We're leaving the house. You're going to clean the pot." And I was like, "I forgot about the pot." And he was like, "I know you did." And I was like, "Oh no." And it was vile. And it was like half full. So like for like 10 minutes I was like scooping it out and like getting it down the garbage disposal. Oh my god. The smell was vile. The smell was horrific. It was so bad. I
Was it
would
winter at
Yeah,
least?
it was winter, yeah. So
Okay.
but so it like stayed cold, but like the shrimp and shit like still all just fucking rotted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
that
that
was
so that taught you a lesson to,
no.
never procrastinate again.
No, because the next year I left a container with
Jesus
salad in it
Christ.
in my locker for like
You're one of those.
60%
Jesus
of the
Christ.
school year. Well,
We
I
had to
never
get
went to my locker in middle school. I just had my backpack.
like
Well, why'd
janitors
you
had to
put a
use
thing of salad in it then?
Because I didn't want to carry my lunchbox around. My lunchbox was, or my backpack was like so full that I was like, I'll keep my lunchbox in my thing. And I like barely ever brought lunch. Like I was a buyer for sure. But one day I was
Hmm.
like, I'll bring a salad.
Imagine not being able to walk home for lunch.
And
Couldn't be-
okay, yeah. Well, see, we're
Imagine
afraid
not
that
being
they're
able
gonna
to
bring.
leave.
They think they're gonna like bring guns back or something. So,
Yeah.
Uh,
but yeah, I threw it in there and left it for like 8 months. And I opened my locker and I was like, whoa.
you're
like,
you're
no.
one of those people. The
Yeah.
janitor of my high school had to bolt cutters to get into people's lockers because it reeks so bad of how many people just left food in their lockers.
Yeah. No, the stench never like reached anywhere else, luckily. But like as soon as I opened it, it was like, oh shit, there's something dead. So
Yeah.
so yeah. What's your other story?
All right. Well, my other story is kind of it's a solved case, but
Okay.
it's kind of a mystery. Starts off as a mystery, so let me figure out how to start this one. All right. Well, let's just start at the beginning. Um. So it's another college-ish story, but it's just kind of something weird that happened. Uh, I last term was my um like first term online, whatever. Every lecture, people just go in the Zoom chat and send like a link to a Telegram group chat. And if you don't know, Telegram is an app, like a social. It's basically like WhatsApp, but like better. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. Um, it's just like a messaging service. Um, and so I have all these Telegram group chats for each of my classes, and keep in mind I'm like in nerd city here in engineering calculus. These are like calculus math classes and nerds.
Yep.
Um,
That sounds
and this
about
one
right.
calculus group chat I'm in, like First of all, yeah, have you guys ever heard of Telegram?
I think I've
Exactly.
heard of it.
But
Like
like you don't have an
once.
account.
No.
Exactly. So my point is you don't bother really making a profile picture on Telegram. It's just like it's
Hmm.
something you make an account for because you're in school. Like
Mhm.
it's not something you have to
Yeah.
actually try. But there's just like this in one of my group chats last time. There's this one chick in the group chat that it was like really weird to see because it was like with a thirst trap profile picture.
Oh.
It was just like of her in a bikini in the mirror. I forgot her name. Oh no, yeah, her name was something weird. It was what was it?
Let's dox her.
Well, I forgot the first name, but it was like first name in brackets or parentheses, as you guys call them. Um,
Hmm.
uh, it was said single girl. Like her name
What?
was first name single girl, and like people said that some guy made it a comment that was kind of like cringe. I forget what it was, but like, and she's like, "What? You don't like
It's a
like I'm
dude.
proud of myself
Was
or
it a
whatever."
bot?
That's a. It's
No,
a.
like she was
No.
asking,
It's a
she was
dude.
asking for, she was asking for like
That's a dude.
she was asking for like questions and all that, and then just random stuff, and like, and someone commented on it like, why is that your profile picture or whatever? Someone made a, and she was like, um, I'm just proud of my body or something like that. Like, I eventually she took out single girl
Single
from her.
girl.
She took that out
Well, maybe she was taken.
from her
Maybe
name.
someone
True.
Maybe
True.
maybe
maybe she
someone
was
swiped
taken.
her up, you know?
Anyway, I
That
kind of
just
forgot
seems
about
like a cruel joke to like
I
fuck with like engineering students. You
yeah,
know.
she was thirst trapping engineering boys like calculus in a
Like
calculus
you don't have
group
to. I
chat.
don't think you have to try that hard to do that.
It just seemed kind of weird. Like she was just like trying so hard for a calculus group chat. Anyway, I just kind of ignored it. I didn't really care.
Hmm.
Um, uh, but then the next term comes by, and and I see the same name. I forgot the name. So let's just make up a name. Let's say I don't know what's a generic girl name to use.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. No, wait. I think that actually was that actually the name. Did you just guess
No
that?
way.
Yeah, it
No
sounds so
way.
familiar. I think it was.
That'd be cool.
No
Anyway,
way I just guessed her
let's just say
name.
Sabrina. Um, uh, so Sabrina, um, single girl with the
Yep.
thirst
Mhm.
trap picture. Um, uh, and it's like it's so out of pocket because like she's one of the only people that has a profile picture at all in the group chat. Like it's, um, but anyway, next term happens, and same thing. Go into classes, and people in the Zoom chats send you a link, and you just join a
Hmm.
new Telegram group chat. And like, I was just minding my own business in my Telegram group chat, and then recently, I noticed that hey, I recognize that name. I see Sabrina again in another one of my group chats, and it's like I barely recognized it because it didn't say single girl anymore. And but it was a different profile picture of a different
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah. It's a
thirst trap.
dude. Yeah.
But like it
Some
wasn't like
dude's
a
like
thirst.
fucking around.
But like, hold on, Cole, because it wasn't like a thirst trap that like a normal guy will like look up a thirst trap photo on the internet and like put that in their profile picture. Like it wasn't like that. Those
Mhm.
are obvious. This looked like it was like literally off someone's Snapchat. Like someone took a Snapchat, saved the photo, and like it wasn't
It's
like
weird.
a Google image search of a
Hmm.
girl. It was
Mhm.
a regular photo. So that's why I didn't even notice it until recently. And I was like, that's the same person from the that was being weird the first term. And again, didn't really care. Like I'm like whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna pay too much attention to these people. Um, and then all hell broke loose one day in the group chat. I'm just seeing this notification of like Cynthia, whatever her name is,
Sabrina.
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 Uh, uh, asked a question, whatever. I think I answered because like I saw the notification and I knew the answer. It was like a calculus question, so I gave the answer. And then someone else responded to her message saying, "Why do you still use that when we all know what's really happening?" And I was like,
That's so intense.
Just like I missed something.
yeah. So I was like, sorry, I've not have helped her, but and then two other girls were like, yeah, exactly, or like true. And when I was like, what's going on? This one guy that started this thing got like upset at Sabrina, and these other girls jumped in, and everyone's like getting, and then like I was like, what's going on? Throughout these messages, they're like calling her out, and Cole, you're right.
It's a dude.
Sabrina is when one guy said, for those of you who don't know, do not help Sabrina with math questions because it is a guy pretending to be a girl to thirst trap the boys in the math group chats for answers so that guys help her out more. Apparently, there was more behind the scenes in the group chat. Like apparently, she actually like would DM guys for like answers, and they would like help tutor her because she's a thirst trapping girl.
And they're engineering students.
And they're engineering students. And but so yeah, like they're like everyone's saying in the group chat like, don't help her because
Yikes,
it's a
damn.
guy. It's a guy thirst trapping for answers. And like someone
crazy.
made a comment like that doesn't make any sense because like everyone gets their answers.
Yeah.
Everyone gets their questions answered in this group chat anyways.
Yeah.
There's no need to thirst trap. That's why I'm saying like that. I'm assuming at least she was DMing guys too for extra tutoring and stuff like that. Like or
That's crazy.
he was such a weird thing. I think he just left the group chat because they're all calling him out, and like yeah, then the girls were getting upset saying like it was really disrespectful for like women in engineering.
Yeah, sure, yeah. That
Because like they're actually trying, and he was just
women
and
and shit, yeah.
Yeah, it was just such a weird thing. But like, I guess the mystery was really who was Sabrina, and also who were these girls in the photos? Because they're not like.
God.
Oh, I don't.
Is he screenshotting?
Ew.
I don't want to know.
That's gross.
Is he screenshotting like girls on his Snapchat roll and like using like catfishing as them?
That'd be gross.
That'd be pretty fucked.
Because I'm telling you, like you can look up a Google search thirst trap, whatever, to use it. Like you see those cringy Discord users, us, but not us. Those cringy Discord users who have like anime profile pictures and stuff like that, or like whatever, like
you
Call
just
of Duty.
insulted like half of our friends on Discord, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
or like
if you're listening, I don't speak for Joe.
Or like people with like I don't know. You can look up thirst trap girls and people use them as their profile pictures. This wasn't one of those. This was literally like such a subtle thirst trap, if that makes sense. That it was like a high school girl's camera roll. Like that's and it's just it was so
I
don't want to.
It was so weird that this guy, everyone was getting upset. He just left the group chat. And get this, like the second he started leaving the group chat, and everyone's like, yeah, no, just like, if you have in contact with him or someone that sounds suspicious, similar to him, just don't bother helping them because it's weird. 2 minutes later, Obama joins the group chat.
No fucking way.
And then asks a question about calculus. And his name is Obama. With Obama as his profile picture.
Oh my god. What a way to kick off your freshman year at college, huh? You're gonna be that guy? Really? That's the guy you're gonna try to be?
I think someone doxed him in the chat saying this is actually this guy.
Why? Why do you want to be that guy? Like, you go to college, like, lay low your freshman year, you know, like, make some friends. You're really gonna, like, be a shitter in like your first fucking semester? Like,
I guess the mystery in this story really is why, because like
Yeah.
there's no
yeah,
point.
yeah.
He could have gotten the equivalent amount of help by not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
like,
maybe I don't know. Maybe he has some other stuff going on.
Maybe.
yeah, I mean like that's always like if he's transitioning, but then he wouldn't use
But-
two different girls' profile pictures.
Yeah.
He'd see one sort of identity to roll with,
Yeah.
but like also someone knew his real name.
Yeah, I knew he
And
was doing it. To,
I
like,
looked him
fuck
up.
with people.
Yeah, and I looked him up on Instagram, and he's not like
Yeah. Mhm.
transitioning or anything. He's just a guy
You're just trying to
trying to
exploit people. Yeah, that's
exploit
weird. And
people.
the fact that he rejoined his Obama is just like.
See, we don't know if he rejoined his Obama because I mean, it could have just been a coincidence, but
I doubt it.
and then and people were like ripping on Obama, saying like, "We know this is you," and Obama started like denying it. So like, what if it wasn't him? Because Obama's like, "I don't know what's going on. I just want this answer."
That's
So, like,
funny.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a weird
Yeah,
thing to happen
that's
in
interesting.
an online school.
Me and Thomas kind of have a story. I mean, not.
How are we doing for time?
We got 30 minutes. We've only been going for 30 minutes. We literally have
Okay.
half the time to film. So, we and I'm gonna need a lot of Thomas's help on this one, I think, because in past times when we've told this story, I've had to rely on Thomas a lot. It's not so much like a mystery, but like to fit the theme, it's like our would you say it's like our what's the term, like your
What'd you call this?
your
story? The
magnum
pink-
opus? Do you think this was like our high school magnum opus? Do you think
It was the magnum opus of our
What's magnum opus?
like our greatest crowning achievement of our
of our attempt to do as little work as possible.
yeah.
Hmm.
By which ended up causing us far more stress and
What do you call this story? The pink something?
the
The pink pen.
the pink pen
Pink pen.
heist.
Yeah,
Okay.
the pink pen heist.
So, oh man, how Tom? I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm kind of putting this on you because I know you remember more than me,
Oh God.
and I can contribute a
Um.
lot. I know I can contribute a lot. I just got to get there. So it was basically me and Thomas were in band in high school, and at the end of the year, you audition for what you're going to be placed in the next year. So they like at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, they release like an audition schedule, and they say, hey, you'll get like a pass to leave your class and come down and audition at this time. So me and Thomas were notorious for just blowing off class and hanging out in like one of the lesson rooms, like one of the rooms that they set aside for like people to practice and stuff.
Mostly that year though it was gym,
Yeah, in gym, like
because that was the year that we discovered that you could skip gym.
yeah, this was sophomore year. We're like,
Yeah.
we were like, wait, we don't have to go to class.
And I remember the exact moment we realized was when there was one day where they had us all gather in the lower gym, because we have a lower gym and an upper gym. And it was the first time that they were like, all right, like, go with this teacher if you want to do volleyball, go with this teacher if you want to do scatterball, go with this teacher if you want to do,
Like basketball,
badminton.
badminton.
And then there was one for basketball too.
And now,
So we were
don't get
like,
us wrong, me and Thomas, like when we were like in the class, we weren't like the kids who like just like stood off to the side and shit. Like we participated in gym, but like there were
especially
days,
senior year, that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
yeah, but sophomore and junior
Fourth
year, there were a lot of days where like they'd combine all the gym classes together. And I was like, I don't want to hang out with a ton of people like playing basketball. Like that was
Yes.
You guys could
So-
skip gym, and meanwhile, I was forced to attend mass every month on the floor. They didn't even give us chairs. It was like sit on the concrete floor and
That's
watch this
rough.
priest.
yeah, we got to see.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, we'll go do basketball. And so we followed the teacher up to the upper gym. And when we got in, we were like the last people to enter the gym. the teacher immediately was like, okay, if I see a phone, like, you're done, you're playing basketball, you're not talking, you're not doing anything. And me and Cole just looked at each other and walked out the door.
Like
And
the door had just closed behind us, and we like backed out. Like we just
and
like,
we had never
backed
done this
back
before,
out.
so we just were both thinking the same thing. We were just like, all right. And our hearts were like racing. We're like, what did we just do?
Yeah,
What did we
we were
just
like,
do?
what are we gonna do? Like we were changed in our gym clothes.
Mhm.
Like our backpacks, our clothes. Like I think it was still the middle of winter. Like we're all in the locker room, locked in our lockers. Like we were not prepared to just like blow off class and just like go hang out somewhere. Like we were like in the middle. It was by this point it was probably like 10-15 minutes into the gym period.
Yeah.
So we snuck down the stairs and avoided like 3 teachers because like the badminton room and like the dodgeball room were like on the lower floor where the locker room was. Like we were like dodging all the teachers at one point. Like our main gym teacher was like taking like a group of kids to one of the rooms, and like we were like hiding behind like hiding in the
Yeah.
hallway. Like it was like a spy movie. We're like,
And that was the fun of it. Was I think that's why we liked it so much, was because we always had to pull off some spy mission.
Yeah.
It was like we couldn't be
Yeah.
seen, and so we ended up so for some reason sophomore year they did that a lot, where they would just towards the end of the year they would just break us off.
there was a reason for it. I feel like it was.
There was.
Weren't they doing like construction somewhere or something? Was that the year there's a bunch of
Was it the
construction?
pool?
Maybe. And like they couldn't have like, I don't know. There was some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, it had to do with the pool or something. But so we started doing it a lot, and we would usually get away with it because what we would do was we would wait for them to take attendance at the beginning of the period, and then we would bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because there's so many kids, our teacher was never asking for us.
Were you guys not marked?
Then,
We got marked for like participation, and participation just pretty much meant come to class, change.
yeah,
So
You guys
we
never do, like,
change-
tests and
no,
running.
Not in high school, no.
What?
Yeah, no.
yeah, no,
In middle school we did, but not in high school. And then so yeah, we'd come in, we'd get marked for attendance, she'd see we're changed, and then we'd dip out the doors, run to the locker room, change, and then take off.
yeah. And then as soon as we got like past like, I don't know, like this, I forget which wing, but we were like, okay, we're clear, but we had to like be on high alert.
Yeah.
And then one time, for some reason, she somehow noticed that we weren't there.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why, but this was after like weeks, probably months of doing it. She noticed. So she came up to us and she was like, so where were you guys on this date? And we were like, oh, we had a lesson. And she was like, I already checked that. And you both didn't have a lesson that day.
Because they get like the teachers all get copies of the lesson schedules.
Mhm.
It's rare that
Most
they
of them
check
don't
it.
check. Yeah.
But like
Did you guys-
for some reason she
Did you guys choose your own courses in high school?
You had a little bit of
Pretty
say,
much.
but
Usually, freshman, sophomore year, you didn't really have any say, but junior, senior year,
yeah,
you
you
had
could
more.
choose like your electives and stuff, but for the most part it was
Yeah.
like you had to take a math, you had to take a science, like that kind of thing.
Hmm.
You had to
Yeah,
take
same.
gym all 4 years type of thing. So,
Yeah, we only had to take gym in first year.
I see.
But yeah, so, and remember we made her believe that we both played trombone,
Yeah, I think so, right?
so we would have lessons the same day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we were like, oh well, and it was towards the end of the year, so we were like, actually, okay, so our auditions were both during the class. Our
For-
auditions to get into the next band
Mhm.
were during that class, but it like rolled over, so we like couldn't tell you or whatever. She was like, oh okay, so I'm just gonna need to see like some sort of proof of that from your teacher.
Ooh, she's one of those. I hate those
Yeah.
teachers.
And this was out of nowhere because she was great.
Yeah, she
like,
was
every
really
other
chill.
time. Yeah, she was a great teacher. Like,
And I remember we were both like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
we can do
And
that.
we were just like, what are we going to do?
yeah.
So,
This is where the heist begins. I mean, at this point, I think it's the next period. we had skipped fucking science or some
Yeah,
shit, and we're sitting in the
but
lesson room just fucking thinking. We're like, how?
well, no. First, we didn't think. What we did was we just did it. So we went to our band teacher. We were like, "Hey, our gym teacher needs," because he didn't know our schedule either. So we were just like, "Our gym teacher needs confirmation that we were both at our lesson during."
Remember, no. This what we told him was that we were like, "Hey, can we get like?" We said like, "Can we get like a pass?" Because he knew when we were auditioning, but we were like, "Can we get a pass to let her know that like we're going to be down here during this period for our audition?" He didn't know exactly when we were auditioning, but like we were like, because he knew that we hadn't already auditioned, so we couldn't be like, "We need proof that we auditioned," because he'd be like, "No, you didn't."
But so then what he did was he took out the practice schedule, right? Yes, and which had the times and the days, and he wrote the date with his pink pen and like something like just the date and then our name.
Yeah, he was like, Cole and Thomas were like auditioning and then signed.
And then he put an arrow up to our time and just circled it.
Yep.
With his pink pen.
Now keep in mind.
So we had it.
Our audition time did not line up with the time and date that we were absent.
No. But he didn't know when our gym was. I don't even think
we had auditioned.
No, but the beauty was that he didn't know when our gym was, and she didn't know when our auditions were. Yeah. But so then we had it, and we were like, "What do we do?" Because if we give this to her, she's just gonna be like, "That's not
gym
the day
or the time."
So
and keep in mind, me and Thomas had different times. Like I think he circled 2 times, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, we had different times.
So like they were in different classes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were across different periods. I really don't even know how we convinced him that like one teacher needed for both of us. He was so chill that like I don't want to brag, but like we were like the up and coming like as the seniors were leaving, we were moving into the high band. Like we were becoming like the best players in the school. We kind of like got what we wanted, you know, like people, like no, I haven't touched my trombone since I graduated.
Tom, what'd you play?
Trumpet.
Yeah, I miss it sometimes, but I don't know.
So, but yeah, we devised a plan where we realized that the way he did it, if we cut off the bottom, which is where he wrote the date, I think. No. We keep the bottom, but we cut off the side, which has the times, and the top. Yeah, and the top, which has the dates. If we cut those off,
all we can see are like 2 circled names. No time.
Yeah, all you can see is the 2 circled names,
and then a note that says Cole and Thomas were at their audition, and signed.
But we also needed to change the date.
Oh yeah, because
which we realized we could do, but the problem was that he wrote it with a pink pen. And Cole was like, "I have a you have like a
paper like in my house we have like an official like paper like
so it wouldn't look like we just like snipped it."
Yeah.
So we were like, "What do we do?"
I bring the paper home, I cut it, you know, it's perfect, but it says the wrong date at the bottom in the note.
And I think we didn't realize that at first because you cut it, and then I think you messaged me, and you were like, "It still isn't gonna work."
Yeah.
And so we're like, "I guess we're gonna have to take his pink pen." So this is my favorite part: is we walk into the band room, and he's like going through music and like boxes, like old music. He's just going through next to his desk. So his desk is like here, and he's over here working on music, and he's going like back and forth.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's just talking to us, and we're like bullshitting, and we're like, "Oh yeah, you know, we're gonna do great on our auditions, all this." And we see the pink pen is in his cup. And we see the pink pen is in his cup, and I like look at Cole, and I'm like, "I don't know, what should do we just like ask him to take it?" But that would be a little sus. And so then our teacher literally just turns to go back to the boxes, and Cole just goes, boop, and takes the pen.
I just,
And I was
as
just
soon
like,
as he turned around, I just went bonk.
yeah, and I was just like, Pog. Yeah, I was just like, So yeah, then we changed the date. Did you ever give the pen back, or did you just keep it?
I probably put it back.
How'd you change
I probably walked back and like set it on his desk. I think it was like it was maybe like a
'Cause it was the
7,
same
and they
month.
wanted to make it like a 2
Yeah, it
or
was the
something.
same month, but we just had to change the date. But the number must have been close.
Yeah,
Like, did you forge his handwriting and everything?
we just
No, we just changed the date.
yeah, we just changed
So
one
if
of the
it said
numbers.
it was probably in like May.
Yeah, but
So
like
if it
numbers,
like
you can see like each person writes a number differently. Like,
Yeah.
did you have to like follow his line carefully?
Yeah,
It's like,
kinda. I
uh,
think I turned a 7 into a 2. Like I think
yeah,
I just like
yeah.
oh, okay, that's pretty easy then.
yeah. So or it was like a 0 into an 8 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and for all of this, we handed her our 2 notes the next day, and she just went, okay, and gave them back to us.
Yeah, like this was like 48 hours of just like stressing over how the fuck we're gonna get this pink pen.
Honestly, you could have handed her anything, probably even the original without you cutting it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
She
but we just
wouldn't
couldn't
care.
risk it.
The fact that you went through all that effort to get the actual note is all she really cared about. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And keep in mind, we were sophomores. We hadn't realized yet that, like, we were under
Teachers
the
don't
impression.
care.
Yeah, we were under the impression that, like, if we got caught skipping, we were like gonna be sent to the principals. We were gonna get like written up.
which only a few teachers
Yeah.
were like that.
Yeah.
I got,
I don't
Not naming any names.
yeah, I had
Did
a
you know
couple
any?
teachers like that.
Did you know any, Thomas?
Health.
Oh. Oh.
I had a couple teachers like that, but like, also I have a pretty pog heist story. But I don't really want to.
Oh, you don't
Probably
want to get into
I
it?
probably shouldn't get into that because yeah,
Maybe
I don't want to
another
be
time?
caught. Let's just say I was in yearbook.
Oh no! I know what he's talking about. I know he's told us before.
Do I know this story?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. I maybe I'll tell when we reach 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You can afford to replace anything that you might be called lad.
Hey.
Hey, nothing happened. But anyway, so I'm on yearbook, right? Like I'm leaving the school at least once or twice a week to go take photos. I was the only guy taking photos of every single event, sporting thing, like assembly, whatever. I was the only guy, so every like twice a week at least, I was gone. Any teacher who knew something about anything at the school knew that I was going every like twice a week, because like any teacher who like was a part of the school really that would pay attention knew that I was the yearbook guy.
Mm-hmm.
So like the teachers would just be like, "Oh, okay, where are you going to now?" And I'd be like, "Oh, track and field or whatever," or "Oh, it's volleyball now," and whatever. Like it was usually chill. Like I got to the point where I didn't even have to sign myself out.
Mm-hmm.
I could just like leave, and they're like, "All right."
Mm-hmm.
Except for a couple teachers. Like there was a couple teachers who every time I was leaving was like, "So where are you going?" And then
Yeah.
I was like, "Yearbook." Like we've
Yeah.
been over this every week for the past like 4 weeks. I'm going to yearbook again, yearbook stuff. And she's like, "I need proof."
Oh
I'm like,
my
I'm the
God.
guy running the yearbook. Like I
Yeah.
make the yearbook like pretty much by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have proof to give to you because I just go to these things.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, you can't leave until I get proof from the coaches." The coaches, it was very unorganized. I had to go. The process was I had to go to each team coach or like each event administrator, ask them when it's happening, and say if I can get there, I'll get there to take photos. There was no proof. There was no like
Yeah. I
them
mean,
signing me out. They just said, "Yeah, just show up. You're the yearbook guy." That's what usually happened. So, I never even got schedules half the time. I just had to put in my phone, and there's these odd teachers, like one in particular, who was like a supply teacher. She wasn't even like a real teacher. She was always around supplying like every class, and she'd always just stop me in the halls, saying like, "Did you sign that camera out?" I'm like, "This is my camera. Like they like gave it to me."
Yeah.
Like,
like.
but like
That's-
I am going to what I do every week. And she's like, well, do you have proof? Who do I contact? And it's okay. And then anyway, it was most of the time was legitimate coke.
That's disgusting.
But
Did
then
you
there's
see
the
the
odd
look on my
time,
face when you like drank it? I went.
No.
and then there's the odd times where I just wanted to kind of go home. So I would just say, and most of the time again it would work. I'm a yearbook guy. I'd just be like, yeah, I gotta go take photos, and they're like, all right. I just leave, go home, take a nap. And then there was this one day where I had a supply teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and the class was so boring. We weren't learning anything. It was self-review,
Oh.
and like I would rather do this in my bed. So I was like, okay, I gotta go take yearbook photos. And she's like, do you have proof? And I'm like, I see. I'm just the yearbook guy. Like no one really asks me for proof. People just let me do my thing around here. You can ask any of the teachers. She's like, I'm sure you're telling the truth. You're gonna need to see some proof of whoever's signing you out. I'm like, well, no one usually signs me out. She's like, you need to sign out. So she looked me dead in the eyes. She's like, you need to sign out. And I'm like, okay. So I quickly ran up to the chillest teacher I knew. I'm like, I need a favor. And I just gave him a bullshit story. Like, I am going to take yearbook photos. But, like, I said, like, I was going to work on the yearbook from home. And they're like, you're not going to do that, are you? I'm like, no. You just say that I am. They're like, sure, whatever. So, like, my chill teacher let me go home to work on the yearbook on my home laptop, when in reality I just came to
Nice. Yeah,
probably play Siege with Cole.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, that probably happened.
Honestly, there was a couple times where you would message me while I'm in class, like, when are you getting off? And I'm like, I'll just leave right now.
Were you also not in school, Cole?
Apparently not.
This was
Joe,
my grade 12 year.
Yeah, Joe
so
got.
Oh, so we were freshmen. I
right.
see.
College, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was probably tons of those times.
Yeah, Cole's just like, get on. I'm like, class. It's 7:30 in the morning.
That's not true. I wasn't awake at 7:38.
No, it was like 10, 12.
Yeah, it was probably fresh after I woke up from skipping my 8 a.m. class. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, Joe, you want some Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Lying to teachers was mine and Thomas's strong suit.
It
We
goes
got away with so much shit.
It goes from grade 9 to being like so terrified of
Mhm.
getting caught, getting in trouble, to grade 10 just being like, you literally blatantly tell them a lie, and they're like, "Is that true?" And you're like, "No," and they'll just be like, "All right."
Yeah. we had a lot of really cool, chill teachers. I don't think there was anyone who we really. Oh, wait. I can't.
Oh, okay, wait. Sorry, to add on to my story real quick. The vice principal would always, every time I'd go for a yearbook thing, would bring me back into the office and say, you weren't signed out, but you left class. And I'm like, yeah, I was at yearbook again. We go through this every week. My vice principal was one of the people who would
Damn.
pull that shit and make me and call my home. So it got to the point where I would just walk home, sign myself out by clicking on the button, because you don't actually have to talk to anyone. It's just an automatic thing that only your parents are supposed to do. But like,
You're right.
I just grabbed my parents' phone.
Yeah.
Like, move a landline. So yeah.
I can't remember why, but I had an after-school detention. I don't remember why.
Never got.
I don't think I was involved with that because I had one too, but it was with.
Your health teacher?
No, it was my Spanish teacher.
I don't remember who that was, but yeah, I something happened, and I had an after school detention. It might have it was either my junior or senior year, because maybe it was health. It might have been health. Maybe I skipped too many health classes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And my health teacher was like, "Yo, I know you're skipping. Like, you owe me like an after school detention." And I was
like, I know you're skipping.
Yeah, and I was like, "Can I do it like in another classroom if I'm like doing work there?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And I went to my goated English teacher.
Oh yeah, no, I was there with you. Yeah, we talked to him.
That was fantastic. Yeah. I was like, "Hey, is it cool if I say his name? I mean, yeah, fuck it, why not? He's great." I was like, "Hey, Mr. Callahan, can I like, I'm gonna be real. I'm in a little bit of trouble. I gotta stay for like IT. Can I just like hang out? And he was like, yeah, sure. I was like, can you like call the teacher and be like,
Yeah, I remember
he's
that.
here, like it's all good. He was like, yeah, no, it wasn't that. Because I remember he had to call up to the principals. It might have had to do with that incident at Kaleidoscope junior year. Maybe. Because I also had 1 day of school suspension for that.
What? What'd you do?
Wait,
This
what
whole
happened
thing-
in
this-
class?
I remember junior year, someone, like, there was, like, a thing that blew up and someone said some shit to someone else and, like, I got sucked in and, like, blamed. Someone threatened someone else and they, like, sucked me into, like, being a part of it and they were like, I feel threatened by this person. And I was like, I literally didn't say shit, but they punished me anyways because, like, they had to
Oh,
punish
with the
everyone.
table? But no, that
I
was at the
think so.
cafeteria table. Because remember, the person we're talking about was like,
So
you're on
It
the
was-
top of my list.
Oh right, it was at Kaleidoscope. Because remember he threatened to like smash his head into the sink, and he was like, I was afraid they were gonna assault me.
I don't remember that.
Really, it happened. It was some stupid shit. It was a mess. I'm not a criminal, okay?
back when you bullied people.
I
and
didn't.
got
I
caught.
didn't. I was literally not involved with this at all.
I just remember.
And
I
they
just
called
remember
me
that.
in, and
I just
they were
remember
like,
that after.
What
Why
the
do you
hell? And I was
say
like,
big
I
bully?
didn't threaten anyone. And they were like, we gotta punish you. I was like, he didn't
Yeah,
even say
I remember
me.
that Mr.
Like,
Kellen talked to us about it. We talked to him about it, and
Yeah.
but then I remember it was funny because afterwards you were like, maybe I'll skip her class more often. He was like, no. But also, I'm just talking about how Joe was like, it gets to a point where you're just like, is that true? And you're like, no. Speaking of our English teacher, remember we had him. Remember when me and Colt had him for 2 classes in a row at the end of the day?
Mhm.
And a lot of times, me, him, and another one of our friends would, in between classes, like go for like a walk around the hallway. And a lot of times we'd show up like, I don't know, like 3-5 minutes late. And most of the time he'd just be like, all right, sit down. Sit down. But then there was
keep in
one.
mind, This class was so chill that like it's not like he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
a bad tutor. Like he would be like having a conversation with kids like up to like 5
Yeah.
to 10 minutes into class. Like
Mhm.
in this we
Yeah,
were
no.
juniors or at this point we were seniors. So like it was a senior elective. We had 2 of them in a row. It wasn't a big, and he like loved our class. Like he would like joke around and shit. There was so much like shit that happened in that
Yeah.
class. It was just like
That's the only class I miss. Like, I would go back.
yeah, me
Yeah,
as well.
my favorite teachers were the
Speaking
ones.
of, text
Well.
him after this. I'm going to remind
Oh,
you to
yeah.
text him.
But also I was gonna say there was one time where for some reason, I don't know why, but we showed up like late. And it was like,
It
we
was
like
too
crossed we like crossed the, and he was like, where were you? And we were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, sit down.
Yeah.
He was like kind of pissed off because we were like,
Yeah.
they had like started reading and we like rolled up.
Yeah.
He was like, guys, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
my favorite teachers are the ones that would like. I had like one teacher specifically that was so chill. Like we'd have like genuine conversations all the time.
Yeah.
But he'd also talk shit about like his coworkers. Like we'd like talk about like the bad teachers, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I know. Like this guy's like it's a little bit off
That's
sometimes." And like even students, he'd like tell us about like the dumb students and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
And like
great.
and like it was a really chill class because it was super small. It was like I think there was like 8 people in that class because it was robotics. It was computer engineering. So we were like building robots and just
Mhm.
basically like piecing things together with our hands. And as we're doing that, we're just chatting away.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, he was really chill. Like he would just talk shit, and I got like really close with him, and I like 'cause I was again on yearbook, and
Mhm.
he went off and had a kid and brought his baby back, and I took family photos for him and
Oh,
stuff like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah, no, he was like a really nice guy. But I also I had a history teacher. History teachers are always like the funniest. I had a
Look, it's in our blood. What
Oh,
can I say?
yeah. I mean, they have not too much going on up there, but I mean, they do have some.
Actually, usually quite stupid, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, all right. You know what? Continue the story.
But I had a history teacher who he was hilarious, but he had like a dry sense of humor. So like if you didn't know him, you thought he was completely serious the whole time.
I had a few.
And
I had
he
a few history
Yeah.
teachers like that.
like he kept like pulling pranks on the one kid in our class and like getting mad at him for like cheating on the test. He's like, "Oh, I didn't." He kept like doing like that. Like he's so gullible, and then everyone in the class would start bursting out laughing. And the teacher would be looking at him like this, and like do a little like smirk, and then like just still, like he was just like straight face, and like everything he would say. Sometimes you didn't know if he was actually mad or if he was joking. So sometimes people would laugh and then stop right away because they thought like, "Wait, is he actually mad?"
Yeah.
And he'd do that smirk thing again. You'd be like. And then like everyone would be like, "Oh, okay, he's chill."
That's funny.
But yeah, no, this one kid in the class kept getting like pranked because like he was
That's
so
funny.
gullible.
Yeah.
Every
I just
time
kept falling for it.
yeah.
We're at an hour now, but I got one story to wrap it up. It has to do with like a little prank thing. So this has to do with Mr. Callahan, our English teacher, our beloved English teacher. I mean, this dude is like.
Are you talking about the test thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, without a question, like the best teacher I've ever had. Like, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
this dude. Like me and Thomas like get lunch with him sometimes. Like,
I'm
to
gonna take
this
some right
day.
now.
Like, great dude. We walk into class and unbeknownst to us, we're starting the Crucible, which is about like the Salem witch trials and stuff, and like, so he sits us down in class and he's like, "All right, so I have something, kind of serious to talk about. I found a copy of a science test in one of like under like one of the desks because our desks had like little like racks underneath that you could like slide shit in and hold shit. He was like, I found a copy of it like under the desk. It was from this science teacher's class. I know whose desk it was under. If anyone knows anything about it, anyone knows anything that was cheating, if anyone knows like who is cheating or whatever, blah blah blah, like write it down on an index card. If you know anything, write it down on an index card, pass it up, we're gonna like talk about it. He was like, so I write down, I'm like, I don't know shit. Like, I don't know shit, I pass it up, and he's like, he gets them on, he's like, all right, well, he looks through him, he's like, Cole, is there anything like you want to tell us? And I was like, what? No, I'm good. He's like, well, I mean, the test was under your desk, and I have a few cards here saying they know you cheated. And I was like, who? I was like, who wrote on their card they cheated? Like, who did it? Like, tell me who. And he's like, I'm not gonna say who, but like, and then like a bunch of people like started like speaking up for me and being like, no, he didn't do it, and it kind of like backfired on him. It was like a social experiment, right? To like demonstrate like how the witch trials worked and how people would like jump on someone to like put the blame on them to like hide blame from themselves type of thing. Luckily, everyone in my class like came to my aid and was like, he doesn't seem like he would do that. Like, and I was like, show me who wrote what about me. Like, I'll fight him. Like, I was like so pissed. I was like red hot. I was like, what the fuck? And then he started laughing, and I was like, oh, this was a joke. And he felt like so bad for some reason. I was like, no, that was a fucking awesome joke, dude. Like, that was great.
Well, here's what happened in my class when he did that.
Yeah, because Thomas was in a different class.
He did it on me instead of you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any friends in his class, though.
Your
And
mic
also-
kind of cut out after you said I didn't have any friends, so I thought that was it.
I didn't have any friends in his class all that year. I knew a lot of people in it, but and so the test that he said it was a science test, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So junior year was the year that I skipped every day of chemistry. Every single day
true.
to hang
I
out with
remember that.
you and like some of our friends in the practice room.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of kids in my chemistry class were also in his English class. And they all knew, a lot of them knew that I skipped because I would come in for like one day and a lot of the
It's not like you skipped. You would be like, "Can I?"
I would go there. No,
Really? I thought you would ask him. You'd be like, "Are we
no,
doing
no.
anything?" And he'd
That
be
that
like,
was that was the year before.
I
This year, I'd
see.
either just not go, or I'd go in, be there for a little bit, and as soon as he like turned his head or anything, I'd dip. He never realized until later on that I was doing it, and then he agreed to be in my movie. But
Oh.
so
That
I
was
guess he
really
didn't care.
sick.
But like a lot of people, when I would go, especially like these three girls were sat next to me, and be like, "Oh, you finally like showed up. Why are you never here?" But like in like a funny way,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, So when he read out that they all said it was me, I was like, they think it's me because I fucking don't go to class, and I'm like a slacker in that class. Like, what the fuck do I do? Like, in my brain, I was like, this makes perfect sense. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be put up for this crime. So like, I think he like read it out, and I was like, I I didn't. I didn't do that. And he was like, then why does everyone think you do it? And I don't know. And it just got really awkward. And I think the class didn't know what to say. I think a couple people like fought for me, but it was like very silent and it got really awkward. And he would like interview me about it. And I was like, dude, I didn't do it. I don't know what to say. I didn't do it. And I asked him too, like you said it, and he wouldn't tell me. But it got so awkward that then she was like, so this was an experiment. And I was like,
Yeah.
What was the expect? Like, what did he hope for? That people would just jump on it and
Yeah.
say like, yeah, I saw Tom.
Yeah, because he
That's
like
what he hoped.
threatened everyone. He like threatened everyone in the class or something.
yeah, it was like if he didn't find the person, then everyone he had to deal with that teacher where like everyone would get like points off the test, and we had actually just had a test in his class, so it was like everyone would get like certain points off.
Yeah.
But if we
He,
found
like,
the person,
threatened us
they would
all
just
somehow.
fail the
But
test.
no one jumped on.
No, mine just stayed quiet.
Yeah. A few people actually fought for me. Like, I was like, holy shit, thank you. Like,
Yeah, I think it was because I was so quiet. I definitely sounded guilty. Like Mr.
probably.
Gallon probably was even. What the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
But I was like, because dude, I thought this was real, and I was like, it makes perfect sense that they would say it was me. It makes perfect sense. I felt like Will Graham in Hannibal. There was nothing I could do.
Yeah. I mean, I just have I mean, we ended up spending this whole fucking this podcast pretty much talking about school again, but
High
shit,
school
I
at the
mean,
time.
yeah, high
College.
school, yeah. But
Yeah.
man, I had so many like good like we had so many good moments in high school where we would just like get away with shit we definitely shouldn't have.
Oh yeah,
Like there was so much shit that just
because we used to both say to each other that I used to in high school love writing that line where like of doing stuff that couldn't really get you in trouble but wasn't allowed.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I,
not going to class was just awesome. There were
Oh,
days,
yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh
how
yeah,
fucking-
senior year we'd
do you
have skip days.
Skip days where we would
Where we'd
go
skip
to a
every single
class
period, but we'd
all
stay in the
day.
building.
Why were we there?
We had a grad skip day where everyone just goes to the beach and gets hammered. But
We did
that
was
a thing, but that's like
And also the week before was the physics field trip, so me and Cole on our own.
physics field.
Yeah, we go
me
to
and Cole
New
remember
Zealand,
on
it was sick.
remember on our own
That
we
was
had to
on
like
physics,
we had
yeah.
to do this whole thing where we like
Pretending.
you like ran out to your truck
Oh yeah.
and then like you had to drive up and like get me, and our band teacher walked out of a different door as soon as I got in the truck, and we're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And then we went and saw Detective Pikachu, so
Yeah, true. Yeah, there were a few times where we just like left the building. We just had to like sneak out. And like the way we snuck out was like not easy because like the music teachers like they were chill, but like there were a couple of them that weren't, and like for the most part if any of the band teachers saw you skip, they'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Because like we were also involved in a lot of like extracurricular activities with them, and they're like, you can't be fucking getting in trouble. Like we're like counting on you guys for this activity. Like if you get in trouble and like fuck around, like that's a problem for us. So you know, but yeah, there was some good shit. I mean, anytime there was like an assembly or anything, we go to Applebee's. Like, just so much of school we'd skip. It was dangerous. I'm surprised we passed. I passed. Oh my god, my we're way over time, but that's alright. My economics teacher. One time I skipped like 4 days in a row of economics, and then I was walking out of school and he saw me. He was like, "Hey Cole, where have you been?" And I was like, "Oh, I had a doctor's appointment." He was like, "Oh, really?" And he just kept walking, and I was like, "I'm fucked." And then the next.
Oh no! It was when, and remember you at a study hall with him,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he got scheduled for it, and you saw him, and he was like, "Hey, I saw you in my study hall," and you're like, "Yeah." He's like, "You gonna show up this
Yeah,
time?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he just knew. Like, I never went, and I don't know how. I never got marks off. Like, I never, like, he never took points away or anything. He'd be like,
Yeah. You only ever went for tests.
yeah, I'd show up for tests, and that was it. And then I passed the class perfectly fine, and then, yeah, the next semester I show up on the first day of the study, and he's like, "You're gonna come to this one?" I was like, "Probably not."
So, anyway, here's my 2 hour long composition of my harmonica.
Okay.